Popcorn World. Popcorn World.
Can I make you move now? Yes, I can. So you can get this move in the back of a can. I can make it round the world when the holes in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. It's a popcorn world. It's a popcorn world.
Now it's time for Believe in the ACC with our starting lineup. From Florida State, number 17, Charlie Ward. From Morehead State University, number 50, Lloyd Stan. And from Murray State University, number 2, Kendrick Haskett. Get ready for the best sports show about the ACC in all the land. Believe in the ACC starts now.
Look at us.
You see the Champions Ranch is
that the Champions Ranch? Well, listen, if I can get the doggone banner off the thing. I don't know.
All I see is our banner.
What is happening right now? The Champions is breaking down right before our very eyes.
The Champions Ranch is getting worked on. Sorry about that.
Nah, it's not you. It's whatever's going on with StreamYard. There's Charlie.
God is very angry today. I don't know what was going on. Okay, now we got it.
Well, you missed it.
We missed the Champions
Ranch. Champions Ranch is under repair.
It's under repair.
So I think there should be the fields. People are coming tomorrow on Monday.
Okay.
To start putting in the turf field, and there should be putting some asphalt down.
Ooh.
Okay.
Monday this week for the roadway parking lot.
What is the target date of completion and beginning the actual championing of students or children or youth?
I think it's
October. Is there a targeted date? Or are we too early for that? October? Oh man, it's coming fast.
Yeah, latter part of October, early November.
Nice. A culmination of a dream is what is what's taking place. You may have to send us the invite so we can pull up in Tallahassee. And see what's going on in Tallahassee.
We'll have a couple of ribbon cutting ceremonies.
Nice. I love it. By the way, this is Believe in the ACC and the Press and Pros. We call it the MashUp. 2 shows in one, where you get a lot of information. But gotta be honest with you, our ACC talk is going to sound a lot like NBA talk today.
Yeah, I was gonna say it might as well just be Preston Pros today.
Right. It's gonna sound very NBA-ish. I can promise you that.
We'll talk about the ACC guys in the NBA. Right,
yes,
right.
that's what we'll do. That's how we'll blend it together today. But here's the reality: we ain't starting nothing. Y'all see the championship shirt Charlie got on. Stop playing. Y'all see this man with his NBA champion New York. Stop playing. That's where we got to start.
Go.
There it is, baby. Yeah. Charlie, how does it feel? Do you feel like jumping on the stoplight and just taking pictures? How do you feel inside?
No, I'm not doing all that. But
Okay, it's not that. Okay.
Yeah, very, very happy for the guys. You know, as I've said before, this is like the ending of a lot of heartbreaks that, you know, I've been a part of and the organization has been a part of over all these years of getting close.
Yeah.
And so just to see the guys and how they went about their business and making it happen was, you know, one for the ages, of course. And now you're getting all the talks about this is the best Knicks team and Jalen Brunson is the king of, you know, the best and all those different things, which is great. And, you know, this unit, they prove that, you know, if you play your role well and play as one team, there are a lot of things you can accomplish because, of course, in the NBA, you're going to always have more talented teams. But the teams that are well connected, understand their roles, and that's what you kind of saw throughout this playoff run that was kind of unprecedented in the sense where they won like 13 straight games. And people are going to say, well, the East is weak. Well, they're getting paid in their pros as well. And so regardless of what you want to say, and then they beat the team that people thought, you know, if whoever won the West would win, you know, the championship. But I was always wondering, like, when will, you know, when the Spurs got to where they got to, I was wondering when will their experience play a part, you know, in the playoffs. And, you know, for the Knicks, they never started any game fast. They're always down.
No.
They're always down double digits. And, you know, either the second or the third quarter in all the games, they had, you know, their comebacks or to get the game close to where, you know, fourth quarters where they closed the majority of the games well, except for I think maybe game 2 where they were up 14 points and they allowed the Spurs to come back.
Right.
You know, late to tie it up, and then they ended up winning that game 2 by 1 or 2 points. So, you know, series was one where the Knicks really never played a full game, you know, like they did in some of the other previous series, but
yes,
the Spurs had something to do with it as well. But at the end of the day, I think the experience factor did play some
Big
bit of
time.
a role.
Big time.
You know, especially late.
Yes.
in a lot of those games because the Knicks knew who they were playing through.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the Spurs, you know, they were kind of hit or miss, you know, at the end, and then their guy who I fear, you know, is going to be better next year and the years to come as long as he stays injury free. He missed some big time shots late, but I feel like in the future he'll be the guy very similar to Brunson, where you can give him the ball, he's going to make his basket, or he can get others involved. So, so it'll be interesting to see. how that all shakes out. But the Knicks definitely were deserving in the sense of they found a way to win, those games that didn't look promising.
Sorry to interrupt the proceedings, but we just got some breaking news. The Charlotte Hornets are trading LaMelo Ball and Josh Green to Minnesota for Naz Reid, a 2033 unprotected first-round pick, 3 first-round pick swaps, and 3 second-round picks.
Naz Reid?
That's good for both teams.
Wow.
But my thing is who's going to play inside for Minnesota? Because they just got rid of Naz Reid and Julius Randle.
It's Rudy Gobert's world, I guess, now.
Right.
Wow. I don't. Naz Reid is shocking to me. They just talked about he was going to be the starter now.
He's going to finally start. Well,
he is going to start. He's just not in Minnesota.
In Charlotte.
right. They didn't lie. He's going to start somewhere. It's just not Minnesota. This is an interesting trade.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way,
back to the Knicks, because I want to give Charlie his time with the Knicks.
Yes, we have to discuss the Knicks. To say that the Knicks had to make comebacks is a gross understatement, Charlie. They led never, like they were down for 15 quarters in a row. and somehow pulled it out every fourth quarter except for one, and they should have won the one that they didn't pull out.
Right.
Now, some of that can be attributed. A lot of that should be attributed to the Knicks because the Knicks did not quit in any game they played in. But man, as a coach, I want to speak to Coach Junior just for a second. How do you not make the adjustments 4 times in a row? Is that trying to trust your guys? Is that stubbornness? Is that just inexperience? What is the reason that you can lose the same way 4 times in a row?
I mean, you hear all the chatter about the coaching and coaching decisions, and you work to try to put a plan together. You could tell they made adjustments from game to game. But at the end of the day, I mean, both teams are going to make adjustments, and then the players are going to have to make plays. And so, the crazy part about it is the Spurs, had multiple opportunities to win games throughout the series, whether it was during the course of the game or late. Yeah. And they just weren't able to make the play or the shot, whatever that was, or get the stop. And so all those things are factors. I mean, they played 5 games, and at least 2 or 3 of them were 1 point or 2 point games.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we can sit here and talk about the coaching and the adjustments and what didn't happen. At the end of the day, all those games are winnable games. And in those type of games where the playoffs are, magnified, it comes down to who makes the necessary plays when you need them. And, the Knicks did that, in close games. And it's not because they were more talented or I got out coached, or you're going to hear that. But at the end of the day, if OG doesn't go and tip the ball in, they lose that game.
Yeah.
And, it's just all these things. People, the 29-point lead that they lost. Well, I've been a part of losses on the road when we were up big, because there's like this factor called momentum, and you're a part of like getting caught up in the momentum. It's like a tidal wave, and you kind of you keep drifting, and you drift. Next thing you know, you're out and you're trying to find your way. And that's what happened, with that 29-point lead. Was I felt like the second half they started drifting. Whether it was taking quick shots, turn the basketball over,
Mhm.
and then the Knicks got the crowd involved. And once that happened, they start making plays. That's when you start to see the tidal wave mentality start to happen, where they kept drifting and drifting. The next thing you know, it's a 4-point game, with 3 minutes to go. And it all comes back down to just, the Knicks took advantage of their opportunities when they were presented, and the Spurs just missed. Wemby missed a shot at the buzzer, practically to win one of those games at home. I think it was game 2 probably.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so, we sitting here talking about the coaching. Well, they, out of three out of 5 games, they had a chance to win the games, at the end. And so, like I said, I think that'll change. Once they've had this experience, and it'll be able to help them moving forward, to know who needs to get the basketball at the right time, who to play through, and then they had guys stepping up and making shots when they needed them during the course of the game. But you need guys to step up and make, at the end of the game, at the end of the day.
Charlie, is it too simplistic to say the Knicks won because they are a team, because they are so connected? They play as a team. They know whose role their roles are identified. They know whose role, what their roles are. And so it sounds simplistic to say they won because they're a team, but it is more than that. And you don't see that every day, because it takes a lot to become a team, a combined unit.
Yeah, it's the one thing, and I tell my team this all the time, talent will win, but talent that's connected will give you a chance to win championships. Because if everyone understands their role, and the crazy part about it is, you need your superstars to play well. In some form or fashion, whether it's scoring, whether it's assisting, whether it's rebounding, whatever it may be, you need those guys to be consistent. But the key factor to winning a championship is you need your role players to step up and make plays. And you want to consider OG a role player? You can do that, whatever it is. You want to consider Bridges a role player? You can do that. If you want to consider Josh Hart a role player, you can do that part. And so all those guys at any given time, you had Jalen and Kat doing what they normally do. If they weren't scoring a lot, they were assisting or rebounding or making plays for others. They started to run through Kat, offense through Kat, throughout the playoffs. And then you had a guy like Deuce McBride, who hit like 7 threes in one game. You had Landry Shamet, throughout the course of the playoffs, minus the finals, who was like 11 for 12 from the 3-point line. Then you had Alvarado, who came in and made some
huge in game
plays.
5. Yeah.
Yes, some key plays throughout. He wasn't a big factor in a few of the series. And then in the finals, they throw him in, and he finds himself in the game late in a few games. And the
Game
thing
4,
that I
he was
admired,
huge in game 4, yeah.
yes, the thing that I admired about Coach Brown was, and you sat there, I was sitting there coaching as well, but I'm sitting there watching him. There's a few games throughout the finals where he kept playing multiple guys, trying to find somebody to give him a spark.
Yeah.
And people are killing him about, he needed to stick with certain. Well, I knew what he was doing, because he kept putting in guys that normally, wouldn't be in those situations, but he was trying to find a spark because they weren't playing their best basketball.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, he trusted those guys to go in and give them those minutes. And if they didn't play well, he took them out. He put somebody else in. And that takes connection, knowing that you're going to get your chance. But if you're not playing well or not giving what we need, we're going to work to try to find somebody else. And you have to have guys that's bought into that philosophy if you're going to win consistently. Because if Deuce McBride, who's not playing well, he didn't play well in the finals, but
now he ain't hit a
he
shot
would go
since they were
in.
in
Correct. And so
Right.
he goes in, he doesn't play well, but coach replaces him. He doesn't complain about not playing, and you don't hear that. You know, he goes in, he gets the opportunity each and every game to go in and try to prove himself. And so that's what I mean by you have to be connected when you're going to win a championship. And everyone has to be bought in on, if I'm not playing well, then coach is going to try to find the next best player that can help us, you know, win in a sense.
Well, let me start by saying, if you don't think this win means anything to the former Knicks of New York, then you didn't listen to Charlie just spit off pretty much every play that took place. That was and I love it because it did feel like this year there was a very intentional effort to bring the entire Knicks family together as one to be a part of this run, especially in the playoffs. It felt like every Knick you had ever heard of was somehow connected to this run in their own special way. And I hope, and I don't often agree with Stephen A., but I will for sure agree with him on this. I hope the Knicks find a way before ring ceremony night to bring Charles Oakley back into the fold and really, you know, embrace him again. Hopefully he and Dolan can get past whatever they got going on.
That ain't happening.
That is not happening. Okay. All right.
If that happens, then we might need to start looking for heaven.
Okay. All right. Well, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
The apocalypse is coming, Charlie.
He said, he said first Oakley, then the rapture is what he said.
First the Fat Boys broke up.
Those events will happen simultaneously. So there you go.
If Charles Oakley forgives somebody that's crossed him,
it'd be the first time.
But he might though. He might for this, for that, to be there for that night. He might.
He did show up in San Antonio.
He did.
So,
that's what gives me hope, Charlie.
And his wife had his jersey on, which, you know, I'm like he's part. I mean, he's a part of the 94.
Yeah.
That came up short.
So maybe, you know.
I know everybody else has come back.
God can do anything. But it would take an act of God. Let's be very
I mean, if you had to pull this one off, that'd be right up there with water to wine, changing water to wine.
He would have to stop doing a couple of things and be like, let me move this, let me move some stuff off my agenda.
So I mean, he's crossed a few people. That's just who he is. And you have to know who he is.
Yeah.
He went at the commissioner. You know,
he did.
And not saying he's not telling the truth, but it's just, you know,
that's the way
there has
you
to be
tell
some.
it.
It just has to be some tack about it.
Yeah,
you know,
if
you're trying to get back in the mix, but as long as I've known Charles Oakley,
forgiveness is not one of his strong points.
That is just who he is. I mean, I've known him for almost 30 years, and that is just who he is. And you know, you love him for it, and then you know you like hate it for him because it's like you're crossing certain people that you never. But he doesn't care. You know, that's his mindset and his attitude, and you have to love it for it.
Charlie, do you feel the embrace being that you have not been able to actually physically be there, but do you feel the embrace of and the love of the Knick fandom on the midst of all of this? What's been the response of the fans to you specifically?
Those people are always the same. So that the fans are, I mean, they haven't come out of the woodwork. Like everybody's who's a New York Knicks fan, you know, wherever I go and they're a New York Knicks fan, they'll come up and say, "I remember you with the Knicks. I'm a fan," and so they hadn't come out the woodworks. So you know, doing this run.
That is
But
so true. Knick fans are Knick fans all the time.
They
don't
are a rare breed
deviate.
of person.
Yeah.
They probably need to be studied.
Yeah.
Knicks
Well,
fans
listen, they've already set up the 30 for 30 for sure, because this is going to be an interesting 30 for 30.
They are a very different breed of human being.
Yes.
Well, but you have to love them. I mean, you love them because they're going to be brutally honest. Like, if you're really good, they're going to be really you know, great. And if you're struggling, which I've been a part of, struggling Knicks, they're going to come to the game and criticize you.
Yeah, Jalen said that from the podium. He said, "You guys are tough."
Who said that?
Jalen Brunson. He said, "Hey, you guys are tough. This is a tough place to play." And it is.
Oh, yeah.
It takes a special kind of place. It takes a special type of player to play in certain environments in the NBA or in the NFL.
I mean, it's with the Knicks and the Yankees.
Oh,
yeah.
I would say it's a totally different. It's a whole different thing. You got to be built a certain way.
Well, I'll take it a step further. Any championship-based organization.
Well, the Knicks aren't that.
No, well, they are in it. Well.
Sorry, Charlie.
That's not true.
They are now. They for sure are now.
I mean, the joke was just there.
It was there, and you timed it perfectly, and I'm proud of you, as always. But when you're playing
multiple opportunities,
yeah,
we have multiple opportunities.
When the let's say when a championship is expected.
What right? Well, or always expected or anticipated. No, there are just some organizations that they live in championship expectation.
Yeah, it's a pressure cooker.
Yeah, and it's a pressure cooker, and that's why I was having this discussion with another friend of mine. They were like, "Man, would you like to have this player playing for the Lakers?" I said, "If he can handle that pressure, because just because he's great in Portland or like we're going to find out how good LaMelo is." In just a few minutes. Not to say Minnesota's a pressure cooker, but it's more of a pressure cooker than Charlotte. Like, so, the expectations is far greater in Minnesota than they are in Charlotte. So it'll be interesting to see how he transitions under the new. What we saw with De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox playing in Sacramento, no pressure at all. You can play loose and free. Got inside of San Antonio where there are 4 banners hanging above your head. Played a little different. played a little different.
But I mean, he played at Kentucky, so I mean, he's used to that. But
he should be.
But yeah,
But he only played 1 year in Kentucky.
Yeah, and they suffered one of the most heartbreaking losses ever.
Right. So we kind of saw this.
That's a scene I'll never forget. It was him and Bam Adebayo crying.
Oh yeah, in that locker room,
in the locker room. I'll never forget that as long as I live.
Yeah,
but and Charlie, I mean, you can speak to that. It's like when you've had a rough series and the whole world is coming down on you. How do you bounce back from that? Because I mean, everybody who's ever watched basketball ever in their life has been coming down on De'Aaron Fox since that series.
Yeah.
How's he? I mean, he's an older guy, but he's not that old. I mean, he's not like he's 30 years old. He's like 26, 27 years old. So how did you bounce back from that if you're De'Aaron Fox?
Well, I mean, it's really no different than anyone else that has had failure. How do you handle failure? Depends on, your future in a sense. And yes, it was a rough series, few games, where he made some, I don't say bonehead, but he made some decisions.
Oh, bonehead is accurate.
Bonehead is accurate.
Decisions that, normally, you don't make, just game situations. But I thought there were a couple of games maybe early on where he should have had the ball, but they played through, either Wemby or someone else, late in those games where I felt like he might have had a better chance at getting a shot because he, just crafting who he is. But they chose to go a different direction early in the series, and because they wanted Wemby to be the Jalen Brunson, play through him late, which I understand the thought process, but I just thought De'Aaron was a better choice in some of those situations because of just the way he was playing in those games early. But it's just something that you have to file away because, like, now I don't know if he's going to be in San Antonio again or what the case may be.
It's going to take a lot for them to trade him.
But at the end of the day, I mean, you have to do what everybody else does, use it as fuel to bounce back and, be better. And I think the experience, this might have been his first finals experience. And so just learn from it. But the tough part about it is, I mean, you may expect to be back, but you never know. You might not ever get back again.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just that whole situation where you can't allow this one series or to ramshack the rest of your career, but use it as fuel to be the best that you can be moving forward.
Yeah. And people forget that, Fox did hit the big shot in game 3 in the game they won. He did hit that big shot in the lane. Yeah. That seal the victory for him. So he did have his moments. It's just, when you lose, the bad is always going to outweigh the good.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not nearly as bad as he's been portrayed to be, but the play was bad for a veteran. I think that's what makes it so stand out the way that it does. It wasn't that he played some bad plays, it's that a veteran of his caliber had bad plays. And you think, wow, he, of all the players that should know better, it should be him. Well, yeah, but also you don't know what you don't know. If you never played in the finals,
it's also his first finals too.
Right. So you don't know what you don't know. And so maybe he just legitimately just didn't know. So
he learned today.
He learned. He has learned some valuable lessons, and hopefully he will be able to take those. And if he stays, then he'll learn from those and grow from those. If he doesn't, he'll take those lessons with him and hopefully get a chance to get back and try it again. But it was an interesting series to say the least. But that does bring us to this offseason.
I do want one. You
got another question? One more question?
One more small point about the Spurs, though.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it, too, as much as we, harp on their mistakes and their youth, I think part of the reason why they lost, too, is roster construction. Because you didn't really pay attention to it. 100%. Wemby's the only big on that roster.
That's any good. That is any good.
I mean, I think he might be the only one. Period. They had.
They got Cornette. Bismarck Biyombo. They got Kelly Olynyk, and they got
Cornette. Cornette played really well,
and Mason Plumlee.
I like Cornette a lot.
But he should not be your immediate backup center.
I think he's fine being the backup center.
Yes.
I think they need a center to start. They need a center out there with Wemby because Wemby's essentially a 3 that just happens to be 7'5".
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having. I wouldn't mind having another center if I was them.
If I was the Spurs, I'd try to get Hartenstein since he's a free agent.
Well, listen. That brings us to where we are now, which is the NBA draft.
That's what we call a segue.
Yeah, I like that. You did that like you've done it before. You've done it for like 20 years. The draft was very interesting, and
last night
a couple of highlight points that we'd like to bring to your attention, especially to your attention, Mr. Charlie Ward. And the one that stands out the most to me is the 11th pick in the draft. Everything else was pretty chalk. You can argue all day long about should Boozer have gone before Caleb Wilson. Did Memphis make a mistake? They should have taken Caleb Wilson as opposed to Boozer. That stuff is, we'll see in time. But the one that stood out the most to me on day one was, and it went viral very quick, by the way. One Joe Lacob, who was very, very angry at the selection of one Yaxel Lindbergh. And everybody was like, why is he upset? Because if you look at Yaxel's game, it seems very catered to a Golden State Warrior roster. In fact, it seems perfect for a Golden State Warrior roster. So, and I was watching it with the draft with some people, and I'm like, they should take Yaxel here. And it's exactly what they did. But the viral video was Joe Lacob very upset at Mike Dunleavy for that pick. Well, got a little inside baseball for you, Kendrick. Apparently, the Warriors had a trade that they were working on, or they thought they had maybe solidified, and that trade did not go through. And that is what is rumored to be the reason why Joe Lacob flipped out the way that he did. He was upset.
So they want to trade out of that spot?
They were either trading out of that spot or they were trading for someone and to get out of that spot. And it did not happen. So the Yaxel thing, I guess he was probably first on their board or something. And which, by the way, he should have been at that point. I would say it's him or a Dame, or any of those guys. But that was very curious to me that he was so upset. So that was one of the things. The other thing that was interesting to me is that Yaxel slipped past the Mavs with Dusty May making his first selection ever, or the Mavs making their first selection ever, and they went with Morez. And I was like, over Yaxel? Like, to me, that baffled me. Maybe Morez has way more upside. I don't know. Charlie, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
So just to, the Lacob, and I mean, those things I'm sure happen more often than we see.
Yeah.
As far as owner personnel, not agreeing on certain things and what have you. And those are just things that normally happen. I'm not saying all the time, but I'm sure they happen more than we know.
Right. It's just happened to be caught on camera. Yeah.
Well, that's the
Correct.
thing that not to cut you off, but that's the thing that really caught my attention. That's the second time something relatively egregious happened in a Golden State building, and someone
you also
decided,
have a vendetta against Mike Dunleavy too. There's that.
No. Well, no, I don't have a vendetta. I think he's going to be fired. But he's absolutely going to get fired. But
you keep saying that, but he's still there.
For now.
He's playing that Elton John song. I'm still standing.
for now, stay tuned. But I guess what I'm saying is everybody. That's the second time a video that I'm sure they didn't want out got out. And at some point, you got to wonder, okay, do we have the right trust in this building? Because stuff like that shouldn't be leaking out of your own building.
I mean that's right. Well, Golden State has a history of stuff leaking out of their building.
That's what I'm saying. Why is stuff leaking out of your own building, out of your own room?
But I mean that part is baffling to me. Not the actual disagreement,
right?
But I was just curious to know, because I know they lost Wiggins, and really never, and Kuminga, and they really never solidified like that 3-man spot,
right?
And so I just think he's a great pickup because he gives them positional size, and he's a good player. He's a champion, and so I wouldn't. I mean, I understand they might have had a trade, or which to me happened way too much. Like people trading people. It was hard to follow
Yes.
where guys were going
Yes.
because of all the different trades. But at the end of the day, Yaxel is a very good basketball player, and I thought it was a good fit for them because they needed positional size at the 3 spot, and someone that's younger and can be a focal point. As Draymond gets older, I don't know, who they're looking for, but with Yaxel, I think he can help get them to a level. I don't know if it's the top level, but I know he can help get them to a level, if need be. And so I understand the disagreement and probably the frustration of whatever he's frustrated about, but at the end of the day, I thought you have a good basketball player, that fits
A great one. Yeah.
fits your group.
And a guy that can come in day one and contribute. Like it's not going to be. Yeah. So I didn't understand the beef.
It could be some PTSD because their first round picks haven't really panned out over the years. And he probably wanted
Could be.
He probably wanted to trade that pick and get a more experienced player because it's weird because they've done well with late round guys like Pajinski and all that, but like
their second round guys have hit. Their first round guys have not.
The first round guys they have not done well. And so that could be part of it too.
Could be that. I think he'll be in the long run. He'll be very happy at what they got. But for now, I guess I kind of understand that if you say it that way. But that was interesting to me. But I also want to ask you, Charlie, the Mavs. First of all, Dusty made not a lot of time to get prepared because he got hired the day of the draft. So not a lot of time to get prepared for getting, a player that he would personally want. But he did get a guy that he was familiar with. But would you have taken Yaxel over Morez?
No, because Yaxel and Cooper Flag are similar players.
Okay.
And so the reason you take a Morez, I would have thought they would take their big man, Dara. But I don't know who they have as far as their bigs. They had like 3 or 4 bigs at one point, and then all of a sudden, all of them went down, or one of them, 3 of them went down.
Right.
Out of 4, and they ended up with just 1. So I think Morez Johnson is a better fit for them because he's more of a 4-man. Cooper's more of a 3, hybrid 2. And then you have Kyrie Irving coming back. And if they can find a way to get some production out of their bigs, you're going to have a solid starting group. I mean, Reyes may not start, but you'll have some positional size to go along with Kyrie or smaller guards. So
yeah,
I just thought it was a better fit than Yaxel. People were asking that, but Yaxel and Cooper Flag are very similar players in my eyes.
Well, I think drafting Morez is definitely the signal that they're probably going to move on from Gafford.
I heard they're going to move on from him.
Yeah, they're going to move out from Gafford and save some money.
Is that a money deal? Because it's
probably.
Not
I think it's money. Yeah, it's money. Yeah,
probably more money than anything.
More money. Yeah.
It's Masai. It's Masai trying to be fiscally responsible.
Because I was gonna say they don't play the same position, so that's why I was saying.
But they pull the money from the same pool, so they're like, yeah, we can't pay
the same budget. Yeah, they just want they going younger and enjoy that rookie contract rather than
buy him some time, buy him a little time before he's got to start paying guys. So,
do you all think that the NBA should revisit this second apron thing? Because like 90% of the moves being made right now are teams just trying to avoid the second apron, and so now you're seeing good players being shipped all over the league just because teams don't want to move into that second apron. Do you think they need to address that? Or should they keep it just to keep competitive balance?
That's
just
exactly where I was headed.
Just because it really is. It's just a question. Just because it is crazy to see how many teams are just making moves just to avoid the second apron, and rather than making moves based on talent and what their roster needs on the court.
But that's exactly where I was headed. I'm in a catch-22 in that question, because while it feels insane to have to move on from a Jaylen Brown because we can't pay two guys $300 million or $400 million ultimately when it's all said and done, boy, it does feel good to watch basketball and not know before the season starts who's going to win the championship. Like, it feels it's competitive. It's very competitive. It's highly competitive. This was a fun off season all the way. I mean, playoff from start to finish. And that is what ultimately drives rating. The Knicks being in the championship, highest rated one since 1998. So that part makes it really nice. And I think if you can have that, then it's working. It feels like it's working. But boy, the teams that are willing to spend, you've kind of put handcuffs on them now, because some teams didn't care about that second. They didn't care about how much
Golden State used to.
Right. Golden State didn't care. And they were like, we'll keep spending until we, as long as we keep winning. And now everybody gets to spend the same thing. Well, okay, hold on. So we're balanced now. How is that fair to us when we got the money to spend? So I don't know. I'm in a conflict of that, because I like the competitive balance, but I get the Golden States of the world saying you snatched our legs right from under us.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing you keep hearing is they've had 8 champions in 8 years, a new champion. So they're not going to take that one away. When you're having a competitive balance that no team has repeated over the past 8 years or whatever the case may be. So that's going to maybe that's what baseball needs, and I think they're heading
baseball
for
needs something
a lockup, because I think that's something the owners are gearing up for, and the players are going to have to have some they're going to have to stick it out if that's the case. But there has to be some form of a cap, second apron, whatever you want to call it. And I think it's going to trickle down to college as well, for, how it'll be a different name, but it'll be very similar concept, because you're starting to get very similar vibes with teams spending $40 million on a football roster compared to other teams that, barely scratching the surface at 20 million or 27 million or 30. It's like it's a big discrepancy.
Yeah.
And so it's just, I think it's going to end up at some point getting to all of these places, because it's always been have and have nots. Let's just get that in there. It's always going to be that. But how can you close the gap between the haves and the have-nots is the question that the NBA has kind of figured out. And they've seen this run where, they implemented that second apron type deal, and you start to see teams not want to, because the money keeps going up and up and up, and teams not wanting to spend so much, even though they're making a lot, but they don't want to spend all of it.
Pay that luxury tax.
Yeah, correct. So it's just, and to me, that is what the NCAA is missing. Rules that you can enforce, whether it's collective bargaining or not. If there are rules, we normally follow them. If there are laws, we normally follow them. And some of the laws we don't like. Well, we have to follow them just because they're the law, Yeah. And I just think that's part of this whole evolution, that there are rules that they can actually enforce, and people are actually, there's a consequence if you don't. I mean, if you want to go to another level, okay, well, there's a consequence for it. It's not, well, I could just do it because I can do it and bump everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just that whole, it's the factor that, you know, there are consequences for going over a threshold.
Yeah. And then
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that for college, but that is a good point. Yeah, but yeah, that is a great idea for college because I hadn't even considered that.
Yeah, and then the other thing is going back to the NBA for a second. They're gonna. This is why you see small market teams also saying our only option is to take the star that we've grown up, you know, homegrown star, and at some point we have to flip them and make something else happen because it's hard to get somebody to want to come to Milwaukee. It's hard to get somebody to want to come to Charlotte. Charlotte, lovely town, but it's not.
Charlotte's awesome. I love Charlotte.
I love Charlotte personally. I don't have a problem with Charlotte, but also if I'm an 18-year-old millionaire, maybe I don't want to live in Charlotte. Maybe that town may be too slow for me or whatever it is. So to get free agents to come,
Trust me.
Yeah.
If somebody's giving you $100 million, you
go to Charlotte.
I wouldn't think it would matter where you go, right?
you're going to wherever they
But the thing is though,
Utah.
is now it's like multiple cities can give you $100 million. So then it comes down to, do I want to live in Charlotte? Do I want to live in Miami?
Right.
Miami's gonna win out every time if the money's the same.
Right.
But that's always been the case. So that's not gonna change wherever you go. But I just know, you know, if you have a choice, I mean, that's on the person that has a choice. But how many free agents are there? Because I mean, you get certain guys that are free agents. But at the end of the day, like Milwaukee, I mean, they don't have a bad team. I mean, they got rid of, not rid, but they moved from Giannis, and they got like 100 people back.
Well,
You know, whether it's through players or picks,
yeah,
or money, or they got like all this stuff back, and so Milwaukee, I think, is in a good place because they have a mixture of guys, you know, veterans. I don't know if they're gonna keep Hero, but I mean,
they're gonna get offers for him. I've been seeing a lot. He's been popping up in a lot of trade talks.
Well, not only that,
Hero.
I've heard also that what we're looking at in the deal is just the framework of it, and by the July the 6th, kind of like what they did with the Kevin Durant thing, there are some teams that may jump in on that deal because the deal is technically not finalized until July 6th. So there are teams that are looking at the pieces that went out or that are going out of each team, and they're saying, well, we wouldn't mind actually having that. Mm-hmm. And so there may be some other pieces thrown into like Khalil Ware's name has come up in a lot of different places. Tyler Hero's name has come up in a lot of different places. So I think there may be some other pieces thrown into that when it's all said and done. Same thing with this LaMelo Ball thing. The framework of the deal is right here. We're looking at it right now. But then also, it would not surprise me if the Nets throw in some version of the Julius Randle piece into that, and then now these deals are combined into one. I mean, people are having to be really creative as to how the money's going in and out and how the players are going in and out to make it all work. So I was asked, hey, how do you feel about the Giannis thing? Did they win? Who won the trade? I was like, I have no idea. Because if Giannis and them win, then I guess they won. I don't know. But we don't know what these other picks are going to become. So,
and it's going to be interesting to see what Miami does with the rest of their roster. I mean, right now they don't even have 12 players on the team,
and they only have $18 million to fill those players.
So they're most likely going to lose Norman Powell, and so
Andrew Wiggins. I think they can't seem to afford either one of them. So.
And they're going to desperately need shooting with those two, with Bam and Giannis out there. So
now, I will say this: getting Ryan Cromwell was a steal. They don't know it yet, or the rest of the league doesn't know it yet. But that was a steal. That was a good draft pick.
That was an interesting that whole deal with them moving up to get him with OKC and then OKC getting Oway and then how all that worked it was very confusing. But they got because basically OKC they definitely replaced Lou Dort because Cason Wallace was kind of a clone of Lou Dort, and now
Yes.
Oway is kind of a clone of the two of them too.
Yes.
So they basically have that same dynamic going with those two players and Lou Dort, and they can pay him less because Lou Dort was up for a contract extension. And so
Lou Dort should absolutely start packing.
Lou Dort has a U-Haul truck out.
Yeah, it's a wrap. Call U-Haul immediately. And listen, I've heard his name mentioned in several different places, including the team that I support. I
think he'd be a great fit in LA.
Well, I think that's what LA is going to do. They're going to just basically surround their guys, which now are Austin Reeves. And by the way, I know this is early in the show. We normally do this at the end, but shout out to Austin Reeves. From undrafted rookie to the highest undrafted rookie contract that's not even a humble flex. That's a full-on flex, and rightfully, deservedly so. That is outstanding, man. I'm so proud of that kid. Feel how you want to feel about his defensive efforts, but but still, that's amazing for him to have made it. I mean, can you imagine? You're undrafted, and now you're about to be paid $185 million. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's an awesome story.
That's pretty cool.
Seems like a good kid, and he brings a lot on the offensive side.
Yeah,
defense. It's optional.
Well, listen, there's work to be done.
Defense is more optional than that fourth year.
It really is. It really is. It really is. But that's what they're going to work on. They're going to spend the entire rest of the offseason figuring out how to shore that part up. And I think they will get the team around Austin and Luka that can support their defensive efforts. Is that a nice way to say it?
So is dominating coming back?
I can't imagine that he is. I think that experiment wore JJ Redick completely out. He just
and Laker fans.
Yeah, well, listen, Laker fans, we are over it. Take your talents and your chain and head out the door, please. Like
who was that?
DeAndre Ayton.
Or dominating.
Or dominating, as he likes to call himself. I think you're already in trouble with a player when they give themselves their own nickname. That's when you really.
The fact that he was coming at Clint Capella like the way he did. Did you hear about that, Charlie?
Well, for the record, DeAndre Ayton doesn't love basketball.
Yeah, that's obvious. Yeah,
he loves what basketball provides.
He plays it because he's good at it. But he
say it. Yes,
essentially yes. So when you have someone like that, you're not going to always get their best because they're not going to be in love with the process, the work. All of the stuff that goes into being a solid player. And I mean, you have those type of guys who are talented and they use it to be able to, provide for their families, which is most people, but they just don't love it. I mean, to each his own.
Because from a talent perspective, Charles, you are 1,000% correct. He should be way better than he is. But it's not, the passion is not there. The drive is not there. It's just
he's got best center in the league talent.
Yes. He's got great hands around the basket when he wants to catch the ball. If he's interested in catching the ball, he can defend when he feels like defending. There's things there that you look at and you go, man, he should be a top 5 center in the league, and he is. And
I was willing to give him a chance into the whole Clint Capella thing. Charles, did you ever hear what he said about Clint Capella?
No, I didn't. What did he say?
He said that JJ Redick told him that they want him to be play like a Clint Capella role, and he was like, Clint Capella, I'm better than Clint Capella, basically in a nutshell. And I'm like,
no, you're not.
You're not.
You are not, sir.
You should do anything you can do in your career to be as good as Clint Capella's career. But that's what he said. He thinks he's better than Clint Capella.
Talent-wise, he is. Talent-wise, raw talent-wise, he is.
But
actuality, no, not even in the same
career.
conversation.
Yeah, I'm plus I'm a Clint Capella fan. I've always liked Clint Capella. So
I would take prime Clint Capella over DeAndre Ayton 10 times out of 10.
I take now Clint Capella over. Because he's gonna give you everything he's got.
He's gonna give you everything he's got for 48 minutes. He's gonna do just that. So let's see. So right now we're sitting in a space where there's a lot of conversation, and we hadn't even got to one of the biggest things that's going on right now. I love the way Shams reported this last night. Shams said the Celtics are negotiating with a sense of purpose. I said, what does that even mean? A sense of purpose? How bad was this conversation between Brad Stevens and Jaylen Brown? When the report comes out, it's a sense of purpose.
It means you ain't gotta go home. You got to get out of here.
Oh my God! I said, I don't think I've ever heard that sense of purpose in the history of the trade deadline. I've never heard anybody say that. There's a sense of purpose. So it feels inevitable that Jaylen Brown is leaving. The question is where? Where will he go? Charlie, do you have any thoughts? Or do you think this is walk backable? See how I just made up a word there that worked? Is this walk backable? Can they walk this back? Did we lose Charlie?
I'm sorry. What did you say?
No. We were just saying with the Jaylen Brown situation, where do you see him going? Or do you think that the Celtics should walk this back and try to fix it? Because according to Shams, they are negotiating with a sense of purpose as it relates to Jaylen Brown, which hints at an inevitability as opposed to them trying to mend fences.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those deals where I think they're trying to move on from him. To try to I think they maybe, I don't know. I mean,
That's a great way to say it.
He's one of their best players, and with Tatum being out, and in the playoffs not coming back or being 100%, and it's kind of a difficult situation because they're both very similar type players,
Right.
and I think they made it work, but it's probably not the best and ideal situation. As far as, I mean, they're very similar players, basically the same size in a sense, and same skill set, 1-on-1, and they're very good at doing that.
Yeah.
So I can see them wanting to, and then Jaylen is very outspoken. He's on his podcast, and so they may not like and want all that.
Well, Charlie, I'm so glad you brought that part up, because what makes the Jaylen Brown situation interesting, and again, I hate to be the guy that agrees with Stephen A. Smith, but I may have to in this regard. I don't think Jaylen has a clear understanding of how he is viewed by others. Because when you are as outspoken as he is in an environment, and I'm going to try to say this as tactfully as I can. When you are as outspoken as he is, and he is viewed by others as, dare I say, not combative, that's too strong of a word, but he's very opinionated. Yes, he's strongly opinionated about a lot of things. One of the things I thought about in reference to Jalen is what happened. Some of you may or may not know, but what happened during All-Star Weekend, where he rented the house of a friend, a well-to-do friend, and they tried to have an event there that would allow him to talk about financial empowerment and helping certain communities, minority communities, this, that, and the other. And they played music, and the cops were called. And Jalen was very outspoken in the reasoning as why the police were called upon his event, even though the event didn't have permits and all the other stuff that you're probably supposed to have in certain neighborhoods in Los Angeles, California. But nevertheless, that is the undercurrent and underlying tone of who Jalen Brown is. And then when you look at that and you understand that, it makes it challenging when it becomes time to, especially in a place like Boston, which historically Boston is a very complex city in and of itself. So I tried to navigate that as well as I could. I don't know if I did a good job, but I tried.
You did it. You did.
Okay. So it's very complex. So, Kendrick, do you think, where do you think he could go? Where do you think he should go? How do you think this obviously is about to end? It's just a matter of when and where, I guess.
He's a confusing case because he's a hard case because it feels like he wants to be the guy.
Yes.
And so,
and maybe should be the guy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't know a contender right now where he could go there and be the guy.
Yeah.
Just looking around. I mean, if he doesn't want to be the guy, I think he'd be fantastic in San Antonio.
Oh, and let me tell you.
So hold on. So
that deal works on a lot of levels.
I saw that part on social media somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So who would San Antonio have to give up to get him?
It would have to be Castle or Vassell. I mean, not Vassell, Castle or Harper, right?
Or Harper.
It had
to be a combination of Castle, a combination of the three, however you want to sort it out between Castle, Vassell, and Harper.
Yeah, some version of that, and picks would have to go. Well, listen, LaMelo Ball just went for 3 swaps, first round swaps, and a couple of players. So I would have to believe that Jalen Brown is going to garner more than that, or at least more substantive pieces than that. So I don't know. And by the way, I don't hate that. I don't hate that as an option. Yeah, I don't hate that. I think it's a complex thing though.
Because San Antonio would benefit from a guy like Jalen Brown.
Yes.
One, because of experience, but 2, he's a guy that can get you a bucket whenever you need one.
Yep.
And so you wouldn't have to rely solely on Wemby trying to be that facilitator and do all the things that he does. So you have a second guy that can actually function at a high level and get others or himself an opportunity. Because right now, the only person that would require from San Antonio that would require some form of attention consistently is Wemby.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone else. Dylan Harper, of course, he's a rookie. I mean, he's solid. He's a good player, but he's not at that stage where you feel like you have to take the ball out of his hands, or he can't get you a bucket, but he may be good. To me, at this point in his career, he's a good backup because of the way he plays. He's a guy that can come in and get you going. He can get his own. And not saying he's not a starter,
Yeah.
But just right now, the way he plays, he'll be a good backup to give you some bench production because you need good bench production.
I
Uh,
thought about Fox, Charlie, in pairing him with Tatum. Maybe you can get away with that, but I agree with you. That is all contingent upon where you think Harper is. If you think Harper is ready to assume the leadership role, which by the way, I don't know if he is. Because he had a good year, but he had a really good playoff, if you understand what I'm saying. Like the year was fine for a rookie, but at the same time, jumping from I'm coming off the bench contributing great minutes to I am the guy now is a significant jump. So are you ready to do that with Harper?
but the other thing is Harper ready to? Because if they get rid of De'Aaron Fox I would see them, Dan Vassell being like the
Stepping into that role more so
partner
for Harper.
partner in a trade. If they're going to get rid of like one of those guys, I don't know about Castle.
Yeah, I wouldn't get rid of Castle. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would not do that.
No, I don't think they will.
Yeah.
He's too much of a Swiss, army knife in a sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't see them getting rid of him. But if they did the De'Aaron Fox with somebody else that, would be in, I would say for sale. I don't know the money and all that kind of jazz for Jaylen Brown, but it would open up, playing time, and those types of things. And that's where you would have to have Harper come in and understand how to be a facilitator. And if he can't understand that, then you have to put him on the bench.
Yes.
To come in and be the scorer off the bench, be who they want him to be, which is ball in his hands all the time. And so that's the only way that I could see if Harper doesn't get to a point where he can get the offense started. What I mean by getting it started by, just getting everybody organized and everyone's playing through, the proper guys. If he can't understand that part, then you have to bring him off the bench so that he can be who he is, which is he's a scorer.
I think contractually, I think money wise, I think Fox makes the sense because I think they both have the same amount of time on their contract. Him and Jaylen.
So they would need a second guy.
Yes,
money wise.
Well, the other thing that makes it,
Boston's going to want more than the De'Aaron Fox.
I would say,
100%. The other thing that makes the De'Aaron Fox thing complicated is I think he's going to make like 40 somewhere between 42 to 44 million dollars or something.
Yeah, that's why I was saying money wise, he would have to be he'd have to be included in that trade. If hypothetically, if that was going to happen, I think Fox would have to be included just because of the contracts.
I think it's wild to even be having a conversation that Jaylen Brown is leaving, but it feels very, very inevitable at this point. And then there's some others that are as equally as crazy.
We haven't heard from Tatum through any of this, which is crazy.
Which tells me that's part of the problem. Like for them,
why would he need to say anything?
It's not that he needs to.
He doesn't. I just feel I feel like if he really wanted him there, if he's going to say I want him here, then all is yes.
If there was no beef or if there was no tension, he would say, "Hey, what are we doing?" Because we just won a championship a few years back. Why are we doing this?
So I will disagree because I don't think that's his place. And no one's he hadn't put himself in position to be asked. And I don't think him just coming out and offering doesn't mean that he doesn't support him being there. I just don't think it's his place. If he's not, doing a press conference or anything like that, sometimes it's best to be quiet and on on without saying anything until the proper time. And when the time does come, whether they move, whether he stays or moves, then you make your statements and what have you on the reaction, as opposed to the speculation of what may be happening. Um, and so, of course, media people on the outside want to hear his thoughts. But if it was me, I would be in this. I would do the same thing. I wouldn't put anything out in support or not support of, because it would be poor taste for one. And I feel like it's not his position to be able to say anything right now, because he doesn't know what's happening, in the sense of if he's going or if he's staying. We all know that he's in trade rumors.
Yeah.
But
Talking about
heck,
Jalen. You talking about Jalen?
Jalen
Yeah.
Brown was in trade. He knows that part. Tatum, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I wouldn't, if I was Tatum, I wouldn't say anything about the speculation, the trade rumors, until something actually happened.
Well, he hasn't said anything about that, but he did go on his final or his last comments were on somebody's podcast or something. I don't know what it was, but he made a statement alluding to, they asked him what was his goal. I think he was on what's the guy's name that was on NBC? He's on NBC's Today Show, whatever that guy, the gentleman that used to, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no.
He made a statement saying, he said, what are your goals? What are your personal goals? And Jason said to be finals MVP and to win another title. And those things are fine, but on the heels of what Jalen has already said about this was my favorite year of all time, and it feels like
there's a lot of Shaq and Kobe vibes in there.
Yeah, it feels like there's something under the current going on. And
it feels like Shaq and Kobe if Shaq and Kobe were more passive aggressive.
Yes.
Shaq and Kobe are the furthest thing from passive aggressive.
No, they were not.
They let it fly. But these two are kind of passive aggressive.
This is the PC Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah. This is this generation.
Right. I'm not gonna say anything about you, but
I'm saying something about you.
But I'll Drake you. I'm just gonna throw some shots.
Yeah. I'm not gonna call you out
between the lines. Right.
I'm not gonna call you out by name, but I'm gonna say it's number 0 get on my nerves.
Right. Right. So it's a weird tension there. And again, even Brad Stevens' comments on Tuesday night in regards to Jaylen Brown were very strange. Like,
well, in his case, though, I think he's got to tiptoe around everything. He can't.
And I get that, but at the same time, here's a thought. I'm just going to throw this out there. We don't want to comment about that at this time. We're working through some things. Just leave it alone. Like, you don't have to say anything. You can. I don't know. It was. There's a very weird thing happening in Boston right now, and there's a sense of purpose of negotiating. So I don't know. We may not find out that either until the 30 for 30, but there seems to be a divorce coming at some point. So I don't know. There's a lot of teams that can use him, though. I'll say that. I could see Detroit making that phone call. I could see you said San Antonio. I think that would be an interesting phone call for them. They got all the right stuff. I can see
Detroit
Utah
would be
making that call.
Yeah, Detroit would be a good fit. I just don't know what they have to offer.
Well, they don't want to pay Jalen.
Utah makes a lot of sense.
Utah makes the most sense.
Yeah, with Kessler supposedly wanting to leave.
Yes,
that makes 0 sense to me. But
and he's familiar with Danny. He knows Danny. He trusts Danny.
Well, Danny is known for hooking up his boys. In Boston.
Exactly.
And so Walker Kessler, that makes sense.
That was one of the first ones that came to mind
because you can send Kessler and what was the rookie they got last year?
Ace Bailey.
Ace Bailey.
Which, by the way, they just announced for whatever reason. I'm not sure why they thought this was an announcement worthy situation, but they announced that Ace Bailey would be going to the bench now that they've gotten Darren Peterson. I was like, well, why do you have to announce that? That just gotta keep that to yourself, like, or you can just reveal that when the season starts.
Because I don't think they like Ace Bailey.
I think they're having some problems or challenges with him. Yes,
so they can package them, and that could be a package deal where both teams come out feeling good about what they got.
Yeah. And Utah has enough picks that they don't even own that they could send those picks out and still have great picks, throughout the next few years. They got the one pick
picks. You see the one pick last night that was traded like 7 times.
I saw it, but I'm gonna be honest with you. When I saw it, it was so confusing at some point that I was like, you know what? I don't even care anymore.
A lot of what happened last night was very confusing.
Yeah, I didn't get it. I was like, why are we maneuvering like this? Are these players worth this type of maneuvering? Like
that's what I was saying about the OKC and Miami thing. It's like I didn't understand why they was making all these maneuvers just to trade with each other when like they weren't going to lose those guys. They didn't have to trade up to get. I mean, I love Ryan Conwell and Ortega Oweh, but I don't think they needed to trade up to get either one of them.
No, he was going to be there regardless. I think, but it was, I don't know. It got real strange last night, but yeah, that's going to be fascinating. The Kawhi thing is going to be fascinating.
Kawhi is a very fascinating deal.
Because he's still a valuable. To some degree, he's still a valuable piece.
He had one of his best years of his career last season.
He did.
Which was terrible.
He did. He did. Listen, this may come down to what Uncle Dennis wants. What does Uncle Dennis want? Where does Uncle Dennis want?
Uncle Dennis needs to want to be quiet.
Well,
Uncle Dennis has caused a lot of issues in Kawhi's life.
Uncle Dennis has been problematic, to say the least. By the way, I heard something last night that the Spurs also may look at bringing Kawhi back.
I saw that.
I was like, get out. We coming full circle.
I mean, he'd
be perfect there. He'd be absolutely perfect. Makes
sense. I don't know if he'd come back. But.
The NBA, boy, it is something else.
Who would he? I mean,
it's fantastic.
Who would he? I'm just trying to put him on the Spurs. Like
he gives them that go-to guy that they need.
I don't know who that.
Well, he's not the defensive guy he used to be, though.
No.
Yeah, but you got Wemby there for that.
But I'll be honest saying, just in his energy defensively, I don't know if it's. I mean, he's definitely declining, especially with the knee injuries and different things.
100%.
And I think he would, he'll fit in because he's a veteran. He knows how to read the room. I mean, he would be a short-term.
Yeah, it'd be a short-term
thing to help try to get him across the finish line.
I don't think the short-term success would be worth the longevity that you get if you don't make the deal.
I think the Spurs got to calm down. That's what I think. I think the Spurs got to calm the way down.
Because I think the Spurs are fine. The Spurs' biggest problem to me is just they need another big.
Fix your front court, and you may have done that, although it won't pay off this year because it feels like Jaden Quainance is not going to play this year because I heard reports came out that he's got another knee or they haven't quite.
They need to clean up.
Like they thought.
They need to clean up the knee again, and I think it said the timeline could be up to 6 months.
Right. So, but at the same time, if you just make a couple maybe subtle moves to maybe get a backup, like there's Robert Williams out there, there's There's a couple of other bigs out there that are available. Maybe that's all you need. It's just to get
Mitchell Robinson's going to be out there.
Robinson could be a solid backup for them. So, or you could put Mitchell Robinson out there with Wemby and keep Kennett and some of the others, and but I just think they got to calm down. I think sometimes when you lose in the manner that they lost, there's this propensity to try to overthink it and overfix it, overcorrect what went wrong. And I don't think listen, to me, the Spurs are way ahead of schedule. So because essentially in Wemby's second year, they've gotten to the finals, even though this is his third year, but this is really his second year. And they got to the finals and had a legitimate chance to win the thing. So everybody just settle down. Just go on vacation for a couple of days, breathe, have a Mai Tai or margarita, and come back, and then
so the details, because we was talking about Al Horford earlier. I don't know if that was before the show. It may have been. I don't remember. But the details on that, he declined his player option, but he intends to sign a new 2-year, $14 million deal to stay with them.
Oh, so he's staying. So he's definitely staying. Okay, well, that makes sense, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it makes sense.
They're in win now mode. So everything they're doing is to try to maximize the final Steph years, which they should do a documentary called The Final Steph Years.
Yeah, then their remedy for everything is let's be the oldest team in the league.
Do you think they will ever get rid of Draymond Green?
It feels like they won't.
Charlie, it's a great question.
It feels like they won't.
I think Steph's reaction to losing Clay has pretty much solidified Draymond's staying power in Golden State, because Steph was not happy that Clay left at all. And I think he wanted to ride that out till the wheels fell off. And they had fallen off. I think Steph wasn't aware that the wheels
I still think
off.
Clay's going to end up in Golden State.
He might, but I've also heard Miami is going to make a run at him.
Yeah.
So
Is Klay Thompson the same? I know he's not the same. He's older, but he's not the same guy that was.
He's
that
not
was
the same guy
productive.
that was in Dallas. He's still in Dallas. So Father Time is undefeated. And so can Klay Thompson catch and shoot coming off the bench and get you 15 points some nights? Yes, I'm sure he can. Can he be the two-way defender? No, I think those days are far gone. And so I don't know. I don't know if that's worth any of that, to be honest with you, Charlie. But Miami's got to fill a roster with $18 million. So it is very likely that Klay will be bought out of his Dallas money, and they'll do less than a mid-level exception for him and bring him on in or something. I don't know. Miami's got to get really creative, which Pat Riley is known for doing, but still, they're going to get really, really creative to fill out that roster. So yeah, what do you pay for a Klay Thompson these days?
Probably the veteran minimum or whatever it is.
So
I mean, he doesn't hurt your salary. He's not going to take you into the second April. Put it like that.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, not at all. So, but again, those are some interesting things that are going on. The media is trying to drive an Anthony Edwards narrative. I don't think it exists. And it certainly probably is not going to exist now that LaMelo Ball is going to be a Timberwolf. So hopefully that will die quickly.
I wonder what that means for Ja, because there was rumored that Minnesota's going to go after Ja.
I think Ja is going to be a domino piece. Well, he's going to be a domino piece. What happens in 3 other places will dictate if Ja will, because he'll be like the kid on the playground that can play, but you're like, these guys are better, and I'd rather have these guys because at least I know these guys will be team guys, and and then Ja be left out there. And by the way, when you pick up Ja, if he is aware of his circumstances, it could be a game changer for your franchise.
Oh, if Ja grows up and his daddy grows up,
yeah,
and they need turn everything around. Whoever gets him, if he grows up and matures, I mean, they're going to get a steal because they're going to get
could
him
be huge.
Yeah,
could be huge. But
could
he's
end up in Orlando.
I don't hate that because Paolo Banchero needs a lot of help, and he is not getting that help because his guys can't stay healthy. And there's familiarity with Desmond Bane being there, so they shrink the learning curve a little bit. So I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. It's gonna be interesting to see. Go ahead, Charlie.
Do you put him with the first-year head coach? That's another challenge.
That's the challenge.
Yeah, that's the challenge.
There's the challenge. It's again,
unless the head coach has, staying power to be able to handle, because he's coming from a place where he didn't have any like outside mess going on or stuff he had to deal with. I don't know where he was before. He may have had some of that, but I know in San
he's in
Antonio,
New Orleans.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know who's there.
But yes, he had to deal with mess in New Orleans.
And by the way, they're if you believe the reports out in New Orleans, they're having a fire sale. They've announced that everybody except for Queen and Fevers are available. Everybody.
Fevers. Yeah.
Fears. I don't know why he call that kid Fevers, but it's Fears. Yes.
Yeah. Ja in Boston is intriguing.
In Boston, I had not thought of that. That's interesting. That is interesting.
Because you have an established coach.
Yeah.
Who's different, and probably he can handle.
Yeah.
Ja.
He for sure could handle him.
Yeah.
Also, curiously, Charlie and Kendrick, Houston announced they're open for business. Everybody except for Thompson, which I was like, really?
They Sengun's up?
They said everybody except for Thompson.
Wow. I would not let go of Sengun.
I don't think I would let go of Sengun either. But I understand. But to me, that may have been more to announce that KD is available than it is about Sengun.
Right.
Because I understand why they're saying KD is available. That KD could not have messed up that team chemistry more if he tried. Like when you find out your guy has a burner account and he's been dogging you on the internet, that's
been par for the course. I mean, that's followed him all the places he's been, and so it's just unfortunate.
Is there a social media anonymous where he can get help, the help he needs? Because that just seems weird to me.
Therapy.
Why do you need to do that? That is such a weird tick. Like, why do you need to do that? I gotta have 4 phones. I gotta do it, man. I just gotta do it.
KD's a different cat.
He's
just a very different cat.
He is very different.
It's just crazy to think that, I think the championship window for him, Steph, and LeBron might be closed. Definitely is in the Western Conference. If they go out east, they might.
But they've had good runs.
They've had their runs. I just can't see them being the number one guy. Going up against the Spurs and the Thunder over the next few years.
Steph could, if they could figure out how to get younger and get younger pieces around.
They've just not been able to figure out how to get younger.
That's why Mike Dunleavy's going to be fired. That's why I keep telling you that it's going to be fired.
Saying that, but it has not come into
fruition. It hasn't happened yet, but it just patience by a young Jedi.
I mean, everything comes to an end eventually. You can't be 20 years down the road and say, "See, I told you."
I don't think you have to wait 20 years. I listen. It's. I think Joe Lacob is the kind of owner that he loves Steph so much that he can't see Steph not making one more run. He can't. That's why he's keeping on holding on to Draymond. He can't fathom that they can't make one more run. Because in their minds, the reason why they didn't make the run the last 2 years is because Jimmy Butler got hurt and Steph got hurt and this person got hurt and that person got hurt. It's not that they're old. It's that they're injured. When the truth is, they're old and injured.
Right.
Right. They're
exactly.
old and injured. It's the same thing. But you can't convince Joe Lacob of that. He believes that if they were healthy, Draymond believes that. If we're healthy, we can beat anybody. And that may or may not be true. But I think you need young talent to make that really, really true. So it's a fascinating set of circumstances. So I think we've covered all of the NBA stuff. Real quick, guys, the Brendan Sorsby story has concluded to an ending of sorts. There will be no supplemental draft. He can apply for the regular draft next year, and let's see how it works out for you, young man. Which, by the way, my personal opinion is I think the NFL did him a favor.
I feel like the NFL gave him a 1 year suspension without giving him a 1 year suspension.
That's exactly what I'm saying. They did him a favor. He needs to go get help.
Well, he did, didn't he?
No, not 2 weeks help. He needs real help. He needs to sit in this and feel it for some time. We can't keep rewarding guys this dude been betting on games since high school. You have a problem, sir. You have a problem. If you're 17 and you're thinking, I got to go finish my biology test and also I need to put $10,000 down on my high school game, you have a problem. You have a real problem. So I think they did him a significant favor by letting him sit in this for a year, go get some help, rehab your image, rehab your mindset, and then come back. Because these are grown men, and they're not going to be happy if you're betting on games, getting suspended in the middle of the season, and you're the starting quarterback of their franchise, and you're costing them money. That's a different thing.
I think what the NFL did is, A, they gave, like I said, they gave him a suspension without giving him a suspension. And B, they took having to answer questions off the table because, these owners, he's talented. Somebody was going to pick him up. And so that this protects the owners from being the owners.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Protects the league from having to answer all these questions, and it gives them a suspension without it causing any conflict with the players union.
100%.
But it's a very strategic move by the NFL.
100%. Charlie, you got any parting thoughts on Brendan Sorsby?
No, I agree with those. And again, I just go back to, their rules that you have in place, and if you're going to, break the rules because of, you feel like it's the best thing for a person. I mean, it just opens Pandora's box for quite a few others. And so I think what the NFL did and the way they explained it, as far as, we're not going to just let you have an out of your mess that you created.
Yeah.
In one place, you run to build a new house when you trash the other house.
Right.
And so, we're not going to give you an out clause to be able to do that since you've exhausted. And I don't know if I told you guys, but I just thought it was going to be very tough on him to play this year, not from a physical standpoint, but just from a mental standpoint, mental grind, because every time he stepped onto that field, not outside of practice, and even, outside of practice, it was going to be there.
Yeah.
Media was going to be talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
It probably won't be your media. It's going to be outside media that keeps
Yeah,
bringing it
exactly.
up.
Exactly.
And then you're going to have players and everyone's going to be talking about it. And so the mental grind of the season to me would have been his downfall, not the physical part. Because the physical part, you can get out there and do it and, what have you. But just the mental grind, I didn't see him being able to overcome, because he knows what he did was not the right thing. And plus, he would be given a mulligan, like more than a mulligan, a few mulligans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If he was able to come back, and which the judge, and I fought the judge.
I agree.
I don't understand unless they got paid, handsomely for it, which even that, you know, was an issue to me, as well, because if you do that, you get paid for making that decision, then that means you can be bought anytime, you know,
Yes.
and that works towards your credibility piece. And so I just think, um, the judge did him a disfavor by agreeing to do a temporary injunction just so he can play.
Yeah.
Um, as I call that, that's first world problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie, I know you got to jump off. We definitely appreciate you, as always, joining us on this journey that we call the mashup. But you have any parting thoughts before you walk out the door?
Yes. We just saw where, one of my college colleagues, who, when we talk about integrity, and being bought, my man Dusty May.
Yeah.
I totally understand it from a financial standpoint.
Yeah.
However, it was just a tough timing. And we've all made decisions that were very selfish, regardless of if everything was good for you, but it might not have been good for the family or whomever it may be that had to just go along with it, in a sense, and work to make it out, make it work. And so I'm just dumbfounded that understand the 40 million was on the table, and it was an easy move to say yes because you're
Right.
going to the league, and there are a lot of factors there. But
No state
man,
income tax.
yeah, I mean it was just tough timing. And now, if 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 you're dependent on him, you don't know if he can be bought. That's why I said the integrity piece with the judge. Money is on the table. You may skip somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad that he didn't pull the Will Wade, where he just left. Maybe he did. I don't know. Where he just left, and then it's called back and said, "Hey, y'all, I'm gone."
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, I see y'all later. I'm out.
I don't know how Will Wade sleeps at night. That dude. And
Probably on a pillow of money. That's just I mean, he's letting you know what his values are, and so.
And LSU is too.
Well, listen, when a person, the great Maya Angelou said, when a person shows you who they are, believe them.
Believe it.
Yeah.
Believe it.
LSU is. Oof.
They it's at all costs. At all costs.
Yes, I mean,
integrity out the window.
they jumped into bed with several devils
So thank you, Charlie. Appreciate you, man.
All right. Appreciate you guys.
All right,
All
brother.
right, man.
You have a good one.
The great Charlie Ward, ladies and gentlemen.
The
Great
great.
Charlie Ward. Rattling it up, rattling cages right now. You know, the thing that when he was talking about Brendan Sorsby, the thing that there's an old quote that popped into my head about how the NFL, when you were talking as well, when how the NFL handled it. And I remember, I don't know if it was a TV or cartoon or something I was watching, but I remember the guy said in the cartoon, if I don't teach you, you won't learn nothing. And I think that's what this was. We got to teach you because you won't learn. You're never going to,
Sound like something from the Boondocks.
It may have come from the Boondocks, but it was, I remember that quote and I was like, wow, that's a great quote because that's what this felt like, what the NFL was doing. Like, you're never going to learn this if we don't do this. Mm-hmm. You're never going to learn this lesson. So we're going to help you out.
Yeah.
So that way you won't have any more problems about that. Yeah. Only other news that was of significance to me, not significant, it wasn't significant at all, but it was just funny. It was funny to hear Antonio Brown talking about Zay Flowers, that comparing him to Zay Flowers is insulting, and Zay Flowers is the reason why Lamar Jackson hasn't won a title. I was like, Antonio, I think somebody needs to come and get your phones. Like, I think you got to stop.
That's been the case for years.
if we could just get somebody over to his house.
Stuff that's to that because that year then Zay Flowers fumbled on the goal line in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, but he's not the sole reason.
No, he's not the sole reason.
Right, as Antonio's trying to say. Now, if you want to talk about reasoning and things that are ridiculous, let's talk about the fact that NFL players can't stay out of trouble in the offseason. What is that about? Why can't they just train and go on vacations and do nothing else? Like, why does it have to be? Why?
That's the thing is that they just got through with mandatory workouts.
Terry and Arnold allegedly is the mastermind behind the kidnapping. He's the mastermind behind it, fam. You know what else you could do in the offseason besides kidnapping? Like,
you can mastermind getting in your playbook.
Yeah, or go to Planet Fitness or take up crocheting. Like, do something productive with your time. Like, kidnapping seems like the opposite of what you should be doing in the offseason.
It feels like there's several stops in between doing nothing and kidnapping. And
feels like there's many options that you can pursue. Besides kidnapping. Besides, you know what? Also, if I could just offer this suggestion to him. I don't know Terry and Arnold like that, but if this can find him, if someone can send this to him, put the weed down. Because weed-induced ideas never lead to good consequences. This feels like a weed dog. You know what we should do? Oh my God, you know what would be lit? We should go kidnap somebody.
But usually you might think something crazy like that, but you don't get up and
do it. You don't usually follow through. Normally you don't follow through. It's just an idea that's floated in a room of people who are also high, and we all think it's funny. Right. We don't think it's palatable.
You're not motivated to do it.
So the fact that you're motivated to do it says a lot about what you're doing with your off-season time. So I would say, don't do that. Do something else. All right, so that's all the back stuff we got. I got to get into this. What are we watching? Because I got something to share with you. I am a girl dad. You know this. Yes. You've known this about me our entire brother.
When you open with this means you're going to tell me you watching some nonsense.
I am. In matter of fact, I'm such nonsense. I'm gonna take my glasses off and prepare myself for this. What I'm about to say. I love a good social experiment as much as the next guy. I enjoy I'm not a huge reality TV guy, but every now and then a Love is Blind or something like that will come up and you go, wow, that's an interesting experiment to see how things work and dynamics or whatever. My daughter and also one of my business partners said, hey, we're thinking about doing some reality stuff, I want you to just take a look at Love Island and tell me what you think. Here's what I think. Ew. Ew. It's I have never seen Kendrick Haskins. I need you to hear me on this. I have never seen anything more ratchet. There was a 3-minute segment from this. And by the way, here's the craziness about Love Island. Filmed 6 out of 7 days a week in real time. So they're in Fiji. So the way it's set up, they did something yesterday. It'll be on tonight. They're doing something right now. It'll be on tomorrow. The only day off they have is Wednesday. The thing that I saw Tuesday, I can't unsee that. It was normally they don't show hypersexualized things on regular TV or even streaming sites. They don't show that type of stuff. You have to go behind a paywall to see those type of things. But what they showed in a 3-minute span on Love Island the other night, oh, wow.
Did you have to clutch your pearls?
I clutched somebody's pearls. I'm not sure who the pearls were I was grabbing onto, but it was. I just have never seen that. I can't say, and I've watched TV my whole life, and I can honestly say, never seen that on TV. never seen that. The amount of kissing and oh my God, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. And everybody just was like, oh. And then when it was over, they just went back to, let's go cook some breakfast. Like, wait, what? That's how this works. We just move on. Like it never happened. Oh, I can't believe we lost the game. Lost the game, ma'am. You're gonna need shots. That's what's gonna happen. You all are gonna need to get tested. This is not good. It's wow. I do understand the popularity of the show. I do get it. But Lord have mercy. I had to ask myself, Kendrick, if 20-year-old me could be on Love Island. And the answer is no. No, you can't do that. That's no. And have video? How do you explain that to your children at years from now?
I wonder that about a lot of stuff that people do.
Why are you kissing all these people? Well, now you if you owe your kids honesty at that point. Well, now listen, your mom was out there. Your dad was out there. He was doing some ratchet stuff. So I don't know. I wasn't prepared for that. I was not prepared for that. Somebody should warn me about these shows. So, so give me a heads up if you can. Tell me what to expect. I get why it makes money though. They do 38 episodes in a season. 38 episodes in a season.
Yeah, because I've never seen 1 second of that show. I've heard of it, and I see people talking about it on social media, but I've never seen 1 second. It is a wow. And I don't think they're all like this. From what I've been told, because I know people, I've talked to people who've seen it, who are fans of it. And because I had to ask, I was like, hey, man, you watch this? He's like, yeah, man, I watched it with my daughters. Da, 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 da. And they're all saying the same thing. This one was not, they're not near, most of them are not as bad as what's happening right now. But it was, oh, man, it was a lot. So, unfortunately, that is one of the things I was watching. Okay. Are you caught up on everything? That's the question I have for you as we talk about what we're watching. Are you caught up on everything? I am caught up on 100 Cook. I have not watched the latest barbecue.
Barbecue Brawl, okay.
Yeah.
100 Cooks is a weird show. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
It is kind of weird.
I think I enjoy it. I think I do, but also it's very strange. Like it is the most random. We need 9 people to come down and cook and boil water, and the best one boils water. It gets to go forward, but 8 of you are going home. What? Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very strange show.
It's very strange. I'll stick with it through this season. I don't know if I'll come back.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm coming back either. And I like Terry Crews, but
I like Terry Crews, but I don't think I will necessarily like him on this show.
it doesn't feel like it works. But we'll see.
I think they need one of the Food Network regulars to be the host of the show.
And also, I think the kid, no disrespect to him, I'm sure he has a phenomenal social media following and he's doing well. But if you didn't win Master Chef, I don't know if I need you judging this. Like, it feels disingenuous to have him be one of the judges of a show where he didn't even win his show. Like, so how are you telling us we're wrong? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just seems weird.
I guess it works out because they're not chefs.
Neither is he, though. He's just popular.
He is.
Well, he's popular.
He's a chef though. But the people on the show, the contestants on the show, are just like us.
So what qualifies him as a chef? He hadn't gone to school. He's just popular. He was on Master Chef. I think he came in like 3rd or 4th on the season that he was on. But now he has like 6 or 7 million followers. So now he's a chef. Now he's a qualified chef, which, by the way, I'm sure he is somewhat qualified. I'm sure he knows what he knows. But wouldn't it be more, I don't know, validating?
Well, they wanted to go younger, I think, and they wanted to get somebody that's popular.
Right.
So I get that, but
I don't know. So anyway, you don't watch The Chi, do you?
I told you, the Chi jumped the shark with me when that lady shot up the mayor from point blank range, and he came back the next season perfectly fine. And I was like, yeah.
Listen, who among us have not been shot and came back perfectly fine? What are we talking about right now?
Because it wasn't. And like the funny thing is that's not even the most outlandish thing that happened on that show before I stopped watching it.
No. That's not even in the top 5 of outlandish things.
The fact that the mayor was a big known gangster.
Yeah.
A known black gangster is not going to win the governor of a major city. That's not
probably not. Probably not. It's a hard sell. It's a very hard sell. Didn't they sell drugs? Yes, but he's very conscious to the help needs. So yeah,
he knows how to make deals.
So they had a big moment this past weekend, a huge moment that's actually last week, and a very pivotal character is gone. And so it'll be interesting to see how they're ending the season. But they have to start wrapping up the season. This is the series finale. So we got to start wrapping up things.
Well, because now the show's been on so long, even the kids that were little kids on the show when it first started are grown adults.
Listen, shout out to them. They got 8 seasons. 8 seasons is a flex. That's speaking of 8 seasons, All American is coming back for their final
that show's
season.
Still on.
It's still on. They're on their 8th season. They're about to start in July with their 8th.
He should be in the league by now.
Oh no, he's already won a title. He went to the league, played for New York, ironically, won a title his rookie season. He's MVP. Yeah, now he's about to have a baby. Like that show has come full circle. So
didn't they have a spinoff at one point of that show?
They did. All American, Homecoming. Yes. And that went 3 seasons. That's how long All American's been on. They've had another show be on, and that show's going off the air. And they're still shout out to
where do these shows air? Because All American is so old. It used to come on UPN or the CW.
It's still on the CW. It's still on the CW.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't watch anything in real time, so I'll go back and watch it.
Like CW, other than them having the ACC package, I didn't know that they was still on the air.
They're still doing shows. Yeah, they're still holding on. But this is it though. This is the last hurrah, and they've actually gotten rid of all of their big shows. Like this is the end of their big shows. I think there maybe be 1 or 2, but All American was holding them down for a minute because you remember they got popular in the pandemic.
Yeah.
So yeah, but they're wrapping it up. So they're and then Raising Canaan is wrapping it up. They had a big shift around as well this past week. It was a big week for massive changing shows. I don't know why everybody went through
I don't know how you have time to watch all these shows.
because I work late at night. You know that. I work late at night sometimes. So I
you're
just have it
working.
on in the background.
Yeah. That's what I think. It's like you're working though.
Yeah, but I've mastered the art of hearing the noise and looking up and seeing it. But yeah, now during the day I don't have time for any of that. But I'll have it on in the background or whatever, and it works. It works for me. So, but yes, I think I'm caught up on everything at this point. Is that my house that somebody's running past? Or I think that's my house.
That was yours.
Yeah, maybe I should look out and see what's going on. But yes, that's what's happening in our world. And Barbecue Brawl's good. It's been good. We're headed to the end of that. I hope. Well, I won't spoil it for you, but people, that show. This was an interesting mix this season. It was an interesting mix of chefs.
I feel like I know who's going to win.
I think I do too at this point. It seems like it's geared toward the three people that you would think if you've been watching it. Those three people are pretty much at this point. It seems like they're locked into the final thing. And I agree with you. I think, and we haven't even spoken about this, but I think I agree with what you're thinking. I agree with what you're thinking. So it will be interesting to see how this ends. But yes, that's it. So we're going to be gone for a little while because, quite honestly, in July, there ain't a lot to talk about.
Well,
and it's too early to start doing profiles and all that kind of stuff. So we'll just take a break, and you take the break with us and go back and see some of our best moments, some of our older shows and best interviews and all that good stuff, So you got any shout outs, sir? Anybody you want to shout out before we take off for the summer?
Not to end the show on a somber note, but my shout out is more of a prayer request.
Mm-hmm.
But
we do prayer requests here
for Kenny Klein, U of L longtime University of Louisville Sports Information Director Kenny Klein and his family, dealing with the serious medical issue. They need all the prayers you can get. Kenny's the best in the business at what he did. And he was so good at his job that he retired, and Rick Pitino basically got him out of retirement to help him out up at St. John's. He's any sporting event that happens in this town, major sporting event that happens in this town, Kenny's the point man.
Was Kenny your entry point into U of L coverage?
I mean, he was there.
I'm saying, right. I'm saying, well, he was for sure mine. And I was a nobody, like nothing. I'm just a guy that started the thing was trying to crack in, and he treated me like I was in everything.
Yeah.
And never made me feel less than that. No. And welcomed me with open arms and would remember me and bring me to his office, and we'd talk. And I will forever be a Kenny Klein guy. He is. I love him. I'm appreciative of him. I don't like to think about what's happening now, and I think I share that with 95% of Louisville sports media, maybe 100% of Louisville sports media. It is not to get into it here, but I think that is a well-timed prayers up for Kenny Klein. I saw Pat Forty even talking about it. Kenny Klein is in our minds, and maybe in a lot of people that that truly know, he's a legend. He is a true. We use that very flippantly sometimes, like, oh, this guy's a legend. No, Kenny Klein is a legend. The reputation that Louisville has had and currently has is because of Kenny Klein and his excellence at his job.
Yeah.
So
and for people who don't realize it, a lot of you have seen Kenny Klein and don't know it because Kenny Klein runs the digital statistics for the Final Four. So you see Kenny Klein courtside at the Final Four just about every year. You may not know who he was, but you've seen him.
Kenny Klein is the definition of the wind beneath the wings. He's all. If you saw something doing something great, or if you saw something magnificently happening, one of the biggest reasons why it was happening is because what Kenny Klein did behind the scenes. That's why it was happening. That's why it looked so good. That's why it came out so great. That's why it was so well coordinated. Is because of Kenny Klein. He's just an absolute legend, and we are definitely sending our prayers up for Kenny Klein. And actually, I think that's my shout out and my way to end the show. I'm comfortable ending the show on that because we really, really want Kenny Klein to get better and recover. So with that being said, we will see you sometime in August.
Yes.
I don't know when, but we'll come back and we'll do a thing and we'll come back bigger and better than ever. So that is the great Kendrick Haskins. You saw Charlie Ward. He was here. That happened. And then I'm here just doing a thing. And we'll be back. And when we come back, like we always do, we'll cue the whistle. But I don't know if we'll cue it now because I don't know where the whistle is. Where is the whistle? That did not work. Okay, there it is. There's the whistle. How did the whistle get lost like that? It's crazy. But we found it. Got to leave on the whistle.